All right, I think Rich and I both really enjoy this story. Trimaine Davis joining us right now on Extra 1360, former San Diego State basketball player under Steve Fisher, part of a championship team in 2006. He was a captain on that basketball team. And we find out that now he's going to be an honorary captain this Sunday at Super Bowl 55 because of what he's done in the community as it relates and around the global pandemic. So Trimaine Davis, one of 3 honorary captains in Tampa Sunday, right before the Super Bowl, joining us right now on Extra 1360. Trimaine, awesome to have you. Take us through this whirlwind experience for you in terms of how you found out about this and what your reaction was.
Well, I think you definitely hit the nail on the head with whirlwind. I think that's what it's been. I found out 3 weeks ago, on 3 Fridays ago, just normally doing a check-in with the folks I work with for the NFL Players Coalition. And, I'm thinking this is going to be a routine check-in. And I get on the Zoom call, and I recognize three people, but then there are a few other folks that I didn't recognize that were also popping up on the screen. And all of a sudden, my wife, she sits down next to me, and I'm trying to keep a straight face, but at the same time, like, look at her like, what are you doing? I'm on a Zoom call. And so Angela LaChica, who also was a member of San Diego State basketball program as a manager, is someone who has done so much in the community, behind the scenes, especially around NFL Player Coalition work. And she was telling me, she's going on and she's telling me about what's happening here. And I finally realized that, like, everyone's in on this except for me. And all of a sudden I hear her say, and with that, we want to present you as the honorary captain of this year's Super Bowl. And my spirit has been out of my body ever since then. It's been quite an amazing honor, and it's something that I really feel unworthy of, but I'm definitely going to do my best to try to live up to what honor this is and carry on once we get away from the Super Bowl come Sunday.
Well, Trimaine, as a former NFL player, I can tell you you're worthy, and I can tell you that how much I appreciate that they tapped you to be an honorary captain at the Super Bowl because of all the work that you've done. But educate our listeners on what exactly you've chosen to do with your life, because I feel like a lot of people this year, especially with there have been some bad things that have happened, but they've been inspired in different ways to do good. And that maybe they're just a little confused on how they can do good. So give us a little taste of your story and what led you to doing so much for the community you live in and the community around this country and this world.
Well, for me, I have been someone who's been very fortunate. I think when you look at my story on paper, you see like where I come from. I'm a former foster youth. I was fortunate enough to be adopted by my paternal grandmother when I was 3 years old. 9 years of my K through 12 experience was in special education. I didn't necessarily qualify to go to San Diego State at first, and if it wasn't for people like Coach Fisher and Coach Dutcher, who really advocated on my behalf, that saw the potential in me, I would not be here. And so I always wanted to be an educator. I felt that being a first-generation college-going student, I'm the first person in my family to graduate high school. So to have the opportunity to go to college, I always wanted to be an educator. And this path that I've been on, I just wanted to do that work. I wanted to be in a position to where I can help people reach their full potential in the field of education. And I've been very fortunate to have opportunities to do just that. And especially throughout this time of the pandemic, I would not be here. And I think it's important for me to overemphasize the work of my team. I'm a part of a team called the VIP Scholars Program at UCLA. Our leadership of our team is the reason why we're here today and we're having this conversation. When the pandemic first hit, our first meeting was about how are we going to make sure that students know we care about them, and how are we going to stay connected to our students. And so from there, we were able to look into the resources that UCLA provided and allow access for students and their families to continue on with their education through hotspots, tablets, and laptops. And so And also that was going on too with the NFL's Players Coalition. They, took a big emphasis in making sure that we were going to tackle the digital divide. And so I was able to kind of work both of those areas on both capacities. And so I really don't know how I got here, man, to be honest with you. I played a very small role in all of this. But again, I just feel so honored to have this opportunity. And one thing I hope that it does, as you said before, there are a lot of people who are looking for an opportunity to help, but they just don't know what to do or how to go about it. I would say the first thing is just to do it, just take that first step. Tap into your local organization. Is there something that you can do on the school board? If you have resources and opportunities in helping someone get a position or look over someone's cover letter, whatever it is, do that. And I think that will help us with the momentum. This has turned into a big snowball. It's turned into an avalanche, but it started off a very small snowball with just me saying to myself that I wanted to be in a position to help others. And I've been fortunate enough in my career to do just that.
Trimaine Davis joining us right now on Xtra 1360, former San Diego State basketball player under Coach Fisher, and will be, again, an honorary captain at Super Bowl 55. And I know, Trimaine, when I talked to you earlier, that this is a pinch me moment when you hear that the presidential inaugural poet, Amanda Gorman, is going to recite an original poem about yourself and the other two individuals in recognition of your impact during what has been just the wildest year of our lives. So what does that mean to be on not just the same stage as the two Super Bowl teams on Sunday, but also the same stage as the poet Amanda Gorman?
It means so much. It's unbelievable. It's like unfathomable to me to even imagine to have this type of opportunity, and to know that I'm going to be in concert with someone who is using her ability with the power of the word to spread inspiration, but she's also going to use me as a part of that inspiration. Like that, it's something that is just unreal to me, and it does not seem real. And that's, a part of the out-of-body experience that I've been experiencing, since this news broke to me. But I know one thing is for sure is that I'm going to make sure that I do what I can to help other people continue this work, because what I feel like I'm representing all of those educators who put their students before them. I'm representing those folks who stay, way past, their time that they clocked in to help students out. Those people who always have their office door open to listen to students to hear what they have to say. And so for the fact that I'm being able to be represented in this way or be highlighted in this way, I definitely want to draw attention to those folks who helped me, who poured into me. And for me, it's just about keeping that door open so that the next person after me can come up and do and achieve things beyond this, So, man, it's such an honor, and I really can't believe this is happening. It's so incredible.
I'm not ashamed to admit that I've been moved to tears a couple of times talking to you the brief time we have, because you're a hero. This is a great honor, no doubt, but a deserved one. And I remember growing up, sports found me. I didn't really even have all that much interest in sport, but my parents needed something for me to get into because I was going down a bad path. I was running with a tough crowd, and
right.
I feel like it might have been the military or prison or maybe worse for me.
Mm-hmm.
And because of lacrosse and youth sports and football and youth basketball, it turned my whole life around. It opened so many doors. And Trimaine, I mean it when I say to you, you're a hero. But it takes mentors and heroes to build heroes. Who are some of those people in your life who help fortify this path that you walk, and one that's encouraging others to follow suit?
I first have to start with my grandmother, who recently moved on. God has found a new angel about 2 years ago. But I have to start with her. I have to give the foundation work to my grandmother, Miss Veers Calamy, who raised me when she didn't have to raise me, but installed in me that I was capable of doing anything I put my mind to. I definitely have to mention even my parents, in the way of, unfortunately, they were dealing with their hardships by the time I came to life, but they really showed me what not to do in life. And I don't mean that in a way that demeans them, but I think just the realities of, the environment that they were brought up in forced them to make some tough, critical decisions, and also, go down a path of trying to self-medicate with those decisions that they made. But throughout that, I learned a lot about life. I learned a lot about just like reality and things that really happen. And so when you talk about there's one point in your life where you're headed down the wrong track, I had an example in my home. I was a caregiver for my father when I was 15. Became a caregiver with my grandmother for my father who had AIDS. But I had an example in my house of the realities of like what is out there when we go down the wrong path. And so I have to start with my family first, but then I wouldn't be here without Coach Fisher. I wouldn't be here without Brian Dutcher. I would not be here without Marvin Menzie and Greg Gottlieb, the coaching staff that was there. People like Matt Soya, who is someone that I keep in contact with to this very day. Have an opportunity to meet folks like Dr. James Kitchen, who at one time was the vice president of San Diego State. To see someone who looked like me, who mirrored me in that position, really was a motivating factor for me. There was a player who played 1 year with Coach Fisher. His name is Michael Marion. He's now Dr. Michael Marion, and has been like my biggest mentor throughout this entire experience. That's my big brother, someone who really showed me the ropes about the importance of keeping your humanity and being a person first and an athlete second. And then, of course, like national heroes. I look up a lot. We just got done celebrating King Day. Dr. King is one of my heroes. People like Malcolm X, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who is the creator of Black History Month, that we're celebrating right now. And I draw on all those experiences. People in the sport world like Dr. Harry Edwards, Tommy Smith and John Carlos, Bill Russell. I just got done reading a book on John Thompson, who was the coach at Georgetown, that just really motivated me and touched me in such an incredible way. And I'm so thankful I had a chance to sit down and read that book because it was an awesome book. And it just motivated me to say, like, there's things that we can do, and I know that we can do it. And it doesn't take someone to have like a massive celebrity following to do good things. And it just goes back to this point of being a common day folk, but still being recognized like this. Now, I hope that I inspire every common day person to know that they have it. It's within them to make that change. It's going to have to be us, So, man, this is incredible to take part in all of this, and I'm beyond words at this point about just the excitement that I have. But again, I want to use this to go back to make sure that everyone recognizes that the power is in all of us.
It's interesting timing. My father just sent me this book. I Came as a Shadow. I haven't yet opened the book.
John Thomas,
but now, right. But now that you've mentioned it a couple of times today, Trimaine, I'm going to open that book tonight, and I will read through the beginning of John Thompson. Yeah, I'm excited to read it. Trimaine, we're excited for you, man. We really are. We'll be watching on Sunday. The Mesa will be watching. San Diego will be watching. The world's going to be watching. It's Super Bowl 55. Man, congratulations, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Aztec Nation. Once an Aztec, always an Aztec, and the team, the program is near and dear to my heart. I love the players. I love the coaches unconditionally. So thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Trimaine.
Wow.
What a story, right?
Dude.
Incredible. And you say to yourself, when I first saw this come across the wire, let's talk about the other side.
Yeah.
One of three guys in the world that's an honorary captain, Trimaine Davis, former San Diego State basketball player.